Okay, I'm back. This is going to be the introductory video for my series, which I'm calling the 30 Alphabet Project. Um, Although I don't have 30 alphabets listed here. I have, I think, 27, but so three are to be determined, or maybe like if people have recommendations or suggestions or just want a particular alphabet to learn a particular alphabet, they can suggest it in the comments and I might do it. I might, depends on the alphabet. So this is a this list here was generated with ChatGPT, just asking it what are the most widely used alphabets in the world. Um, yeah, so now, but there are a couple of omissions. I took out a couple of languages because, yeah, they're not going to fit into this project, and I'll talk about them as I go down the list here, and I just want to show you what these alphabets look like. Okay, so the most widely used alphabet is the Latin script, right? Everybody knows English, Spanish, French, German, Italian, a bunch of other European uh, languages use the Latin script. If you're here, you probably speak English. If so, this is the Latin script. So I wasn't going to do the Latin script because, again, if you're here, you probably speak English and read English, or if you're even if you're from Europe, you're used to the script. Even if your like native language doesn't use it, you probably speak English and read English. Anyway, but I thought I would do um, the Spanish, so the Spanish alphabet or the alphabet like from like in Peru or Mexico or just one of the Spanish speaking countries because although they do use the Latin script, all of these countries use the Latin script. There's always slight modifications to them where they add a letter or they add certain diacritics, or even the same letter has a different pronunciation. Like the J in Spanish is not the same as the J in English, but it's obviously the same letter shape. So I will do the first one I will do is reading in Spanish. Again, just reading in Spanish. Reading for the Latin script. I'm gonna make it so like to help you read and pronounce words correctly in Spanish as you read because I can speak Spanish, so my pronunciation is pretty good, and it's not native, but it's pretty damn good. So like if you copy or mimic me or shadow me, then you can read in Spanish, and then it's up to you to learn vocabulary. But at least we'll be able to learn Spanish a little bit, and yeah, okay. Now number two here, number two actually on the list is the Chinese characters, the Hanzi, I believe they call them in China, and in Japan they're the kanji. Korea has done away pretty much with it, so it wasn't even like, yeah, Korea, thank goodness, has done away with their, I think what they call it, Hansu. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. It was the Chinese characters. Um, yeah, so and even if I spoke Chinese, this wouldn't be part of the project because it's, as you know, it's like thousands of characters. Like this whole project could be just Chinese. Anyway, so I'm not gonna do that. Um, okay, so the second one is the Cyrillic script, and I've chosen Russian as the language. I could have chosen any other one of these, but I feel like since I know Russian, which I don't know much, but at least I know a little bit of Russian, like, and my pronunciation isn't garbage, right? Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Карлос. Как вас, как вас дела? Хорошо, спасибо, пожалуйста. So it's not garbage. It's not great. I'm not pretending like I speak Russian in like a impressive level, but I'm understandable. And I think my pronunciation is better than most like beginners. So I'm just basically a beginner at Russian. Anyway, the I'm again, I'm this is the caveat. The caveat is that I don't speak these languages. So if you can find somebody who teaches you these languages, um, or teaches you how to read in their alphabet because it's their native language, that's better. But what I'm going to offer in these videos is like a very like I have a method to learning alphabets. I can learn any alphabet just about in like a matter of like 5 or 6 hours, and it sticks. Then I'm reading, and then I'm reading, uh, And so this is what I'm offering here. I'm offering you, and it's not like a novel method. It's just simply like starting with one or two letters, and then I begin by taking English words and spelling them out phonetically in the target vocabulary or in the target alphabet. So, for example, in Cyrillic, right, I would spell out like I don't know, telephone, airport, Los Angeles. I would spell out these words in Cyrillic, and so then you're putting to memory the the alphabet, the shape of the letter, the grameme, uh, and then the sound associated with it. It's not going to be exact. So, for example, Russian using the Russian alphabet or using the Cyrillic alphabet, um, you're not going to be able to say telephone or airport or conundrum exactly the way Americans say, but that's not the point. The point is for you to put to memory to make the association between the Cyrillic letters and their sound. And we're going to approximate the English words uh and then that's it. If you can read the Cyrillic and approximate the English word and figure out what the English word is supposed to be, I'll give you clues, then you're good to go. And then after you do that, then you can jump to actual Russian words and read the Russian words and then put those to memory as to their meanings. But that's going to be mostly up to you. I'm not here to teach you Russian. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm not here to teach you these languages. I'm here to teach you their alphabets. But yes, we'll start to do some readings in the language. But given that some of these, like, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, not terribly. Like, let's take an example. Let's say, like, the stereotypical American who reads Spanish. They're reading Spanish, then they're like, ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien, gracias. Right? Okay, that's terrible Spanish, but it's comprehensible Spanish, right? And in time, with as the American hears more Spanish, he'll refine his pronunciation. But but he can do that by reading actual Spanish texts, right? And by listening to Spanish, right? So that's where I want to get you to. I want to get you to where you can read the language in their alphabet, in the native alphabet. So I want you to read the target language in their target alphabet. Not like, for example, like Japanese where people use Romaji. That's not what I'm talking about, right? You can learn that way, but we're gonna learn hiragana and katakana. We're not gonna learn kanji. We're gonna learn hiragana and katakana. And once you learn hiragana and katakana and start reading like introductory text like Genki, like it'll help you. Anyway, so that's it. So just so you know what I'm offering here. Uh, okay. Cyrillic. So yeah, we'll do Cyrillic. A, uh, B, V, G, D, Ye, Yo, Je, Z. Z? Is that the Z? I think that's the Z. I almost forget. I, Ka, like that. But we'll do spelling out the words. Okay, the Arabic script. This is the only one that I'm not dead on sure. I'm not sure I'm going to do this because I've actually learned how to read Arabic a long time ago, but I've forgotten. Like I'm not fluid reader anymore, and and like yeah, my recognition of the letters is spotty. But it wouldn't take me long to like to read it again. But my concern is that my pronunciation is going to be kind of garbage, and that's I mean it wouldn't be pointless to teach you this and to like and you to do it, but I think it would just be much better if you learn this from a native speaker. But I'm gonna research, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna practice, try to improve my pronunciation and like yeah, and try to say and and speak and sound out the syllables or the words pretty closely to what they're supposed to sound like. And so again, that'll be enough for you to like yeah, learn how to read in Arabic. And we'll probably just do Fusha. I'm not gonna pick a dialect. Um, that'll serve our purposes. The Devanagari script. And we're gonna do Hindi. But it's used in many languages, Marathi, Sanskrit, Nepali, and others. And Indian languages like have a bunch of these. They look like this is the same alphabet, but it's not. They're different, and you'll see. We'll talk about it. So yeah, this is the Devanagari script. I'm learning Hindi right now. I'm like 2 weeks into Hindi. So this is the ah, the short ah. This is the long a. This is the short I. This is the long I. This is the short u. This is the long u. This is the ri. This is the a. This is the I. Like no, this is the a, and this is the I. Like in kaise. Aap kaise hai. This is the a. This is the o, and this is the ah. This is the k. This is the k. This is the g. This is the gh. Right, so on. Like I know this alphabet. If I went down the line, I would probably miss one or two right now. But again, when it's time to teach it, I'll brush up and like yeah, and be accurate. Okay. Um, Now look at the Bengali script. Kind of the same thing on a clothesline, right? But notice there's lots of patterns. And I wanted to say this about like about Devanagari script. For some of these languages, we can have mnemonic devices that or mnemonic tools that help us remember the letters, right? So, for example, look at this letter. You see how in the middle it looks like it has a little hook, and so hook with a K sound, that's the sound of that letter. It's k, k, right? See this letter here? It almost looks like a little hangman thing, right? Like a little hangman. Like so, I think of the gallows, and so this is g. This is g, right? You see this little looks like a little like snake that's being charmed is just standing there like it's a charmed snake. That's the cha, right? Like an acha, right? So you see this little thing here? It looks like a little spoon. Have you ever seen those like spoons that you put like half of an orange and you squeeze it to make juice? So this is what I call the juice spoon. So it's ja. It's ja. Okay, so and I have a bunch of mnemonics like this here that looks like if a monkey was sitting on top of the wall and his tail was hanging over the wall. This is a tail of the monkey. So this is a t. This is a t, and this is a t. It's similar to this one. It's just closed, so we can remember the associate. So I have mnemonic devices, and they work for me. They work for me. So I'm assuming they're going to work for the majority of you. Maybe not all of them. Maybe because what's intuitive to me might not be intuitive to you. But you can do your own. Like yeah, you can modify the mnemonics I give you. But I generally think they're going to work for you guys because they're obvious. Like see, this is a basketball on the wall or just a ball on the wall. And the reason I say basketball on the wall because over here we have a volleyball on the wall. This is a V or kind of like a W and V in between sound, like a V, V. And this is a B, B. Basketball on the wall, volleyball on the wall. Okay, so yeah, mnemonic. And this here is a nail in the wall, a nail in the wall. So it's a N, N. Okay, this here is a reverse P, P. And so looks like a P with a little tail. It's just similar, but it's the aspirated P or F. I think the PH is like a F sound, more like it. Anyway, so there's mnemonic devices that are going to help us remember. Okay, so here's the Bengali script, as we saw. Kind of crazy, but it's no crazier than Devanagari script. And to me, honestly, it took me 2 days to learn how to read Devanagari script. And one of those days I was creating my mnemonics. So, and once I created my mnemonics, like I was reading 90% accurately. And so I just need to do a little bit more reading practice. There's always like one or two letters that like trip you up. But yeah, just through more reading practice, I'll clean that up. Okay, continue. Hangul. At one time I could read Hangul. Hangul is also famously logical and easy to learn to read. If you want to learn Korean and you're intimidated because of this like weird looking computer language, it looks like a Morse code for aliens, then it's not. Don't be afraid. It's easy. It's easy. Greek. Another one that people say like it's all Greek to me, as like it's just like you can't decipher it. But Greek is actually super easy. Right? The Greek alphabet is actually super easy. It's like the Russian alphabet, the Cyrillic alphabet. Super easy to learn. Hebrew. And actually, I think it's not called the Hebrew script. I think it's called the Assyrian script. And so you will see it in Yiddish. which is the language we're going to use. We're not going to use Hebrew because I don't speak Hebrew and I'm not about to try to learn Hebrew and I can kind of pronounce Yiddish words. So we're going to do Yiddish. It's also in biblical Hebrew, basically the same alphabet in biblical Hebrew. But we're going to do, yeah, the Aleph Beis. I think in Yiddish it's called the Aleph Beis and in Hebrew it's called the Aleph Bet. But it's basically the same script with slight modifications. Okay. Tamil, another Indian language, spoken in Tamil Nadu, spoken in Sri Lanka, um, and this is also another looks kind of look at all the little loopies and look there's little like number twos everywhere, all of these, but it's also not hard, easy, relatively easy, pretty easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is most difficult, I put Tamil at like a 4 for difficulty. Not even like, yeah. So Thai script. I've never learned the Thai script. I've never looked at the Thai script. I've never attempted it. I am now, right now, looking at the Thai script for the first time. Um, doesn't look anything like vastly different from what like Tamil looks like than it would from sorry, where's the Devanagari script and the Magali script look like, right? That's yeah, it's just some squiggly lines and some bunch of curvy stuff. And yeah. Now I don't know. I didn't put the like. I don't know their vowel systems here. I don't know if some of these are vowels in here, or there's like you have to have like certain diacritics to add vowels. Like Hebrew is famous. Is famous because it doesn't have originally it doesn't have vowels. It's a consonant. It's an exclusively consonant language, and the vowels get added on either with some kind of diacritics, with some dots, with some dashes, or nothing. You just have to know that this particular consonants uh, form this particular word, and you would know and you would know the vowels that belong to it. So yeah, those are always tough when like languages omit vowels because the people who speak the language know what should be there, but like when you're learning the language, like good luck. Anyway, so Thai script. Um, yeah, I again, I've not spent 1 minute trying to learn Thai, but it doesn't look any more difficult than any of these other Indian languages to me. Khmer, right? Cambodia. Uh, look at how short this look at how short this. I'm not sure if this is correct. I used ChatGPT, but so I was kind of doubting whether this was the full alphabet. And I would tend to think that there are no vowels here, and then you'd have to add them on, and it might like yeah, and I don't know. So that's it. So, but it's on the list. It's on the list. Tifinagh, my favorite, my favorite, one of my three favorite alphabets. Look at this. Uh, I don't know if Tifinagh is actually used anymore because the North African area and like Morocco, like yeah, that they've become Muslim, so now they use Arabic script for their language. Uh, so, but I think it's not dead yet. I think in the Tamazight language, uh, or other Berber languages. By the way, they don't call themselves Berbers. They call themselves Amazigh. They are the Amazigh people. I think Berber is like a derogatory term almost to them. Anyway, so the Amazigh languages, some of the Amazigh languages, uh, I think most of them use Arabic script, but some of them still have hung on to the Tifinagh script. By the way, this is an A. This is a B, I believe. This is a what is this? This is a G, a G. Uh, or that's the R, the like the R. Yeah. So, and this is an I. Um, where is the where's the letter I wanted to show you? I don't see it. Is it this one? Maybe I copied the wrong Tifinagh because there's a Neo Tifinagh script, which is the one we're gonna do. But this is very similar to it. I just I don't see the Z unless this is supposed to be the Z. Anyway, okay. If you can see my shirt or my sweater, this is Tifinagh. This is the Z for in Azul, which means hello in Tamazight. Anyway, okay, so but really really cool, right? Really cool. I think this is a really cool language. So I'm almost got it down, and so I like taking notes sometimes in like whatever I'm doing, like in a notebook, and I try to spell things out phonetically in Tifinagh. It's good practice. Anyway, okay. Gurmukhi script, Punjabi. I've never looked at the Punjabi alphabet. I am right now looking at it for the first time, like in all seriousness, like trying to examine it. A lot. This looks like the M in Hindi. Um, a lot of these shapes, like this shape, looks like a Hindi letter. Um, this looks like an I, and this looks like another I. Um, yeah. So there's a lot of shapes that look like Devanagari script, but okay, Gurmukhi, Punjabi. Georgian script is crazy. To me, Georgian script is crazy. It's beautiful to me. Beautiful. Look at like the rounded shapes, and there's not that many letters. So I'm assuming, I'm assuming, but I'm not assuming anything. Actually, I just don't know if the vowels are here or not. But look at this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning how to read this language. Is that one? Did I just not space it? I don't know if that's one or two. I think it's probably just one each. Okay. Next, Kannada script. I think that's another Indian language. Just because looking at the alphabet, look at that. Look at this. Bunch of boobs and asses. Oh, sorry. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Like amazing. All right. Anyway, so somebody pooping here. So these are. I'm not like dogging the Kannada script, although it kind of sounds like disrespectful. But I'm just pointing out that there's going to be. You can make a lot of mnemonic devices. Like this little thing here looks like a little frog to me. This looks like a little heart to me. Um, I don't know. Maybe you can make something. These look like caterpillars or worms. Yeah, and then some of these do look like boobs. But anyway, so you can make mnemonic devices. I think I'm not gonna have a problem learning this alphabet. Okay, the Telugu script. Again, more little hearts, more little boob looking things, more little yeah, tuchus and a bunch of rounded shapes. The Telugu script and this script look very, very similar. Almost maybe I want to not do both. No, they look the exact same to me now that I'm looking at it. Well, not the exact same. Yeah, I see the differences. Maybe yeah, it's different enough. It's a different script. Javanese. I don't know if I copied Javanese right or if my font is the wrong font. But look at this. Like I like who there's got to be a written way to do this because this looks like you need a special pen to get in the dark areas or the thick areas. I don't know. Like I want to change fonts here, see what happens. Let's go to comic. No, that doesn't really do anything. Let's go to Nunito. Yeah, it's not doing anything. So I'll put it back. I'll put it on Comic Sans, even though that it was on something else. Anyway, so that's the Javanese script. Singhala. Look at this little worm here or this little eyebrow here. I got a bunch of rounded shapes, right? So again, there's going to be a lot of mnemonic devices here. But this little like yeah, these are all these Indian scripts like look somewhat similar to me already. The Malayalam, again, roundedness. This looks like Tamil a bit with these shapes. With this is definitely a Tamil letter too. Um, yeah, so this is looking like Tamil to me. Uh, Armenian's another interesting look. It's almost like a little bit more ornate than Georgian, but not much. And yeah, those letters look. Are there numbers here? I see a bunch of twos and threes and eights. Anyway, okay, so and zeros and some cash money. Anyway, okay, next. Now, I am counting hiragana as one separate alphabet or syllabary and katakana as another one. They make the same these the sounds represented here are the exact same sounds represented here, right? But this is for the like Japanese words and this is for foreign words. Um I don't know why they do that, but anyway. I don't know why they have kanji either. I seriously get rid of katakana, get rid of kanji. Japan, please, just switch the hiragana only. The whole world will thank you. Okay, so we're gonna learn both of these. And Cree, look at Cree. Cree is crazy. Cree is nuts. Look at that. It's a bunch of triangle language. It's a TP language, right? bunch of TPs. Okay, so yeah, this looks like some kind of like a language that a computer would use to speak to its computer buddy. And not just dots and dashes, but anyway, or not just dots. Tibetan. Here's Tibetan. I don't know what to say about Tibetan. Um, but it looks cool. To me, it looks cool. What I get bothered is like, who wants to write that just to write one simple letter? Oh, I don't know if it's a syllable or not. I think it's just a letter. Okay, so anyway, but yeah. Um, then the Cherokee syllabary. The Cherokee also alphabet is kind of nuts. Maybe I think it might be one of my top three favorites. I know Tifinagh is, and maybe Armenian is, or maybe Georgian, I mean, is, and then yeah. But so this one is also has some crazy letters. Like this letter here looks like the Russian U, but reversed, right? And then we have a this H looking thing. Okay, so that's also Russian looking. This letter here we have in Tifinagh. This just looks like an R. This looks just like a reverse J. This looks like a reverse J with a little hook. Yeah, and so and a bunch and this I W S. Anyway, so the Cherokee syllabary, um, m maybe I don't know if these actually I don't know if these Latin letters are part of the syllabary or I did something when I like copy and pasted. Okay, next. The Ge'ez script, the Ethiopic script. The Ethiopic script is crazy. Again, I keep saying crazy, but look at this. Look at this alphabet. Now there are a lot of patterns. You see these patterns here, this patterns here. Look at all these, all the way across. How many of that shape we have? And you see this everywhere. Like, look at all these. I'm assuming if this is a syllabary, then I'm assuming the vowels obviously are there. But anyway, who knows? I don't know yet. I have never looked at this alphabet before. So we're at 26 now, and then the last one is Mongolian. Have I said crazy enough today? Look at this letter. Look at this letter. I mean, there have been more like ornate letters, and if you actually were learning Chinese, they're like letters that have like 30 strokes, 30 plus strokes. Like who wants to write that? Anyway, but yeah, so here we have like a mixture of everything. I don't know what these are. Like I almost want to say they're vowels, but I don't know. And then you have these nice elegant letters here. All of this is nice and elegant. Then you get a little bit crazy. This is just cool. This looks like the yin yang sign. Um, and then you get some short little letters, almost like Arabic, like D's and yeah. And then you get like this crazy thing. Then somebody wearing glasses. Okay, so that's it. Um, that's how it's gonna go. So let me put down here at the end. Kind of, I had my notes for like I was gonna explain it to you, but of course I lost my notes when I started to do this. This is the way we do it. This is so generally we just go one letter at a time and slowly add letters as we uh, spell out phonetically English words. And English words because you know what they're supposed to sound like. And so then if you are able to like get in the ballpark of what the English word is with the target alphabet, then you know that you're reading the words correctly. You're reading the sounds or the syllables correctly. Okay. And we just do this. We just keep building more and more words until we finish with the alphabet. Then we read in the target language, provided that we have a Latinized transliteration. Is that the right word? Transcription, transliteration. Let's call it transliteration. You know what I mean? Just in, like the Romaji of Japanese, but applied to the other languages. Because we want to be able to make sure that we're reading the target language words correctly. Because we don't have English as a crutch. English, we know if we read a word and we read tele telephone. It's like telephone. I'm misreading something. It should be telephone, right? What I should be saying is closer to telephone, and so then that way the English will help you uh, check yourself. But with the new words, with the target language, we don't know what they're supposed to sound like, so we won't be able to check our pronunciation or our reading. So that's why the transliteration. Um, we read the target language in the target alphabet or with the target alphabet, right? Okay. Uh, okay, that's it. And so we just do repetition, 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 repetition until you're just reading. You're comfortably reading, right? Okay, that's the project. And so there's three more that are going to be added. I don't know what they are yet. Um, but I do intend to make this a 30 alphabet project. So at the end of the day, I at least will be able to read at minimum 30 languages, each with a different script. And obviously more because I can read English and Spanish already, and I can butcher the French, but I can read it. I can butcher the Italian, but I can read it. Like I don't know what I'm reading, but I can read it because it's the Latin script, right? And same with Cyrillic. Like I can read Russian more or less. And so I can already read Kazakh more or less. Now, if I wanted to study Kazakh, I'd have to learn a few of their, yeah, reading rules. And they have some extra letters they add to Cyrillic. And some of the sounds they don't pronounce the way the Russians do. But for the most part, you're going to be like already 85 to 90% reading Kazakh. You're going to be like literate in Kazakh in the sense of you can read, not literate in the sense you know what the hell you're reading. All right, that's it. Okay. Yeah, so if you have any suggestions, if there's a language like whose script seems like intimidating to you and you'd like some videos. I mean for these videos for each language to be no more than 3 videos per language or per alphabet. Um I like I found that it's like I need like 3 hours to go through these letters with you one at a time to like to drive home any mnemonic devices, and if we don't have mnemonic, it's just going to be rote, like or rote memorization. You're just going to like repetition, repetition, repetition. Read words with the same letters. Read words now with 4 letters or 4 different letters. Read words with 5 different letters, and then these 5 different letters we can spell a whole bunch of other words, and then we just keep reading those letters until like it sticks. So it's just repetition. It still works. Still works. So it's going to be a bit tedious. So you're going to have some kind of passion to learn these languages. Um, I'm not here with like, I'm not promising you entertainment in that sense. Uh, but I'm promising you a method that has worked for me, and you will see that it works for me because I'll be able to read as I'm teaching, right? And then if you just follow what we're doing, it should work for you. All right, that's it. I'm starting to ramble as I tend to do. I'm gonna log off. Yeah, so put in the comments if there's a language or an alphabet uh you'd like me to like use this process on. Um that's it. Let's leave it on that inarticulate note.